Once again, this is Chris Report, and he assured me that St. Simon's down in Boulders. Folks, this is Chris Wyatt reporting from South Africa.
Good morning, folks. Good afternoon if you find yourselves in South Africa. Breaking news out of the Southern African portion of the continent, where the economic freedom fighters Floyd Shivambu has announced his resigning from that party. Now, Shivambu is well known for his race hustling, his vile comments, his singing songs to murder innocent people, and also for the VBS bank scandal, the Venda bank scandal. Bit of a shocker this morning as he has resigned the EFF to join the MK party. Let's listen in to what Floyd Shivambu had to say for the next couple of minutes here. This is his announcement that he has resigned and has joined the MK party. He says he's been promised nothing. I find that very hard to believe, but this is the story. We're probably seeing a switch from a red beret to a green beret here. We can't say that. From a red beret to green jackets here in just a matter of hours in Parliament. This is Floyd Shivambu announcing his resignation today.
So the letter says, "Greetings, Comrade President."
Sounds a lot like
the chairperson
Malema,
of
doesn't it?
44 Johannesburg has informed me that my membership of the EFF has lapsed. And I said, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards in the Johannesburg region. I also request to resign my position as Member of Parliament and all positions in the EFF. I will only do so after receiving a go-ahead from the organization because it is the EFF that deployed me to Parliament. I cherish and appreciate the work that we collectively did in the EFF and building a formidable organization.
I've got to interrupt him there. So he's announced that his party membership has lapsed. He's not going to renew it. He's quitting the party, and he cherishes the work that he did building the EFF into a formidable organization. No, this is a rat leaving a sinking ship. Yeah.
I believe the aspirations and vision contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved.
Well, if it can still be achieved, why are you no longer doing it? Are you leaving politics? No. You're jumping ship to join Jacob Zuma's MK party. There'll be more defectors like this. Should be interesting. The crazy thing would be to see someone from the DA join MK. Let's hold our breath on that one.
That the visions that are contained in the organizational redesign document of the EFF can still be achieved, and that I believe so. That my non-renewal of EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence in the organization.
No, but your party failing to go from 10.5% to 15% and actually going backwards and retrograding to 9.5% is a vote of no confidence in the economic freedom fighters. Yeah, so is your departure from the party, genius.
But a revolutionary act that will allow progressive forces to unite and work towards the agenda.
His resignation from the EFF is a revolutionary act that will allow progressive forces to unite and further the agenda. What the? First off, it's not revolutionary. You haven't overthrown a foreign power. You have revolutionary. Allow progressive forces. Progressive is a euphemism for regressive, folks. Look, I wasn't planning on doing a broadcast this hour this morning. I had other things going on. John Jarvis the other day asked me if I could set a regular time for this, and I said I can't control the mornings, and I was correct about that. This morning, I'm actually delaying my arrival to bring you this story, this breaking news story that Floyd Shivambu has fled from the EFF and joined the MK party. He's done so not as a vote of no confidence against the EFF, but rather as a revolutionary act on his part that will allow progressive forces to unite to further the agenda.
For progressive and revolutionary change. I have never in my service of the organization acted outside its democratic and revolutionary decisions.
Really? So what about all that money from the Venda Bank? What about destroying Senegal's rubbish bins and leaving the street signs in disarray and attacking people in the streets of Senegal? What about the revolutionary act of attacking Click Stores, a black-owned BE business in which you folks trashed 43 locations, including one which you petrol bombed? You never worked outside well, I guess all of that must be inside the standards and norms for the EFF if you haven't worked outside it.
Discipline and practice. I've served with humility and discipline.
Humility and discipline. Folks, oh gosh. Aidez-moi. Here's the sad part about this. Somebody will actually believe this pile of bull dung. Discipline.
I will never abandon the cause for economic emancipation and true freedom in our lifetime.
Yeah, because you've already got your Breitling watches, your Land Rovers, your luxury apartments. So it works really well for you, your so-called struggle for economic emancipation, which you achieved a long time ago.
I will never compromise my commitment to true emancipation, and I will never abandon my commitment to the Marxist-Leninist ideological lenses and view. And
okay, so let's put this in perspective. Let me put this in perspective, which no other analyst is going to tell you. Okay, that is a brilliant phrase. Floyd Shivambu is abandoning the EFF, which he says is based on Marxist-Leninist ideals. He will never abandon the Marxist-Leninist ideals to join the MK party. We know the MK party is founded on the basis of getting rid of Roman Dutch law and European influence and putting people back into subsistence farming and letting the chief own all the cattle and all the means of production. So the MK party is devoted to regression and Africanization of the country. This guy is committed to Marxist-Leninist ideology. Here's a little hint, Floyd. Here's a little hint. Karl Marx was a Kraut from Rhineland-Pfalz who got married in Bad Kreuznach. I've been to the church where he got married at. It was in the town on a station. Lenin was a Russian. They were both white guys from Europe. So you're leaving the EFF, which its founding basis is European political ideology, to join a party whose ideology is African. Do you not see the irony? Do you not see the silliness of all that? These people are so full of crap, their eyes are brown. It has gotten so far up their corpus that their eyes turn brown. Unbelievable. Marxist-Leninist ideology is European, Floyd. It's not African. Do they even know what they're talking about? Has he ever even read Karl Marx? I have. Das Kapital. Has he ever even read Lenin? I have. Does he even know that they're white? Oh, by the way, does he know that they're dead? For over a century.
Guide to action in my understanding of society.
You understand nothing.
I will not do and say anything that will compromise the integrity of the organization that we have collectively founded.
Oh, I call bullshit. He's going to squeal like a pig. Squeal like a pig, boy. He's going to squeal like a pig. He is going to turn state's evidence. He will not do anything to compromise the integrity of the organization. What about VBS? What about Clicks? What about Senegal? What about Phoenix? Yeah.
My sincere plea is that in its reflection of the decision that I have taken, the organization should also avoid mischaracterization of an otherwise revolutionary and disciplined decision to not renew membership of the EFF, and the request that I must be released from all areas that I'm deployed on behalf of the EFF. And then say that we have over the years played an important role in shaping the politics of South Africa and the continent, the African continent.
The continent, really?
We have all played our parts progressively, and I have no doubt that we will continue to do so in our respective different responsibilities. I firmly believe that political decisions should never be personalized and treated as betrayal of the cause and of individuals. I said, Comrade President, you're my brother and comrade, and will always cherish the contributions we made in our lives during the formation of the EFF, even prior to that. I wish the economic freedom fighters full prosperity and success.
Sure you do. Full prosperity and success. You know, Floyd Shivambu reminds me of this. My brown-eyed girl. Van Morrison. Floyd Shivambu is my brown-eyed girl. Oh, I wish the EFF success. Yeah, sure.
And wish that all the commissars and ground forces and public representatives.
I gotta stop again. The commissars. Okay, I'm sorry. Did the Venda, did the Zulu, did the Xhosa, did the Tswana, did the Sutu, did any of them have commissars in their structures before Europeans came? Get rid of Whitey. We don't want Whitey. Whitey's evil. Colonizers, settlers. So, we're a Marxist-Leninist party with commissars. Yes, Floyd Shivambu's my brown-eyed girl.
And members of the EFF Students' Command will accept this very difficult decision that I have taken. The struggle and war for economic freedom will never be compromised by any individual decision. It has been ingrained in the hearts and minds of many people in the entire revolutionary regards and God bless, and the letter is signed off. And just to give clarity so that there is no speculation, I've decided not to renew the membership of the EFF because I will join and participate in Umkhonto Wesizwe party.
Oh, there it is. Floyd Shivambu wishes the EFF party no ill will. He has no problems with the party. He has no issues. He's continued to this revolutionary act of leaving the party, a revolutionary act so that the forces of progressivism can unite. Were you dividing the forces of progressivism, Floyd? And now the real other shoe drops. Boom. The reason he's left the EFF is he is joining the Umkhonto Wesizwe party of Jacob Zuma, a party full of impeached and disgraced former Western Cape High Court judges like John Schlope, a party full of corruption-accused, state capture era party apparatchiks under Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma, a man accused of rape, who got off on that, a man accused of corruption, found guilty of that, but not on trial, so didn't go to jail for it, a man accused of contempt of court, a man who has no issues with corruption accused. This is the very essence of a gangster state. God forbid the MK party ever get any degree of control over anything like they nearly got over KZN. Listen, I had a little bit of empathy for the MK party from a standpoint that they managed to get 45% of the vote in KZN. But I have zero empathy from the standpoint that they are not in government. This is a gangster-like party full of corrupt, inept, and corrupted people and convicted people who will do anything to further their self-enrichment. Craven political power, self-aggrandizement, and self-enrichment. That is what the MK party is about. Let's listen to the rest of what he has to say.
I am not going to speak here in Winnie Mandela House as to what is the basis of that, because that will be tantamount to campaigning already for Umkhonto Wesizwe party. So I'm going to be actively involved in Umkhonto Wesizwe party and shape its direction and the politics that are obtaining today in South Africa. So that is to end the uncertainty or speculations that have been obtaining in terms of what is going to happen. There is no specific position that has been assigned to me. There is no commitment or any promise of deployment to parliament or to anything. It's a decision that I have taken, and I think and believe that it will add meaningful value to the progressive and revolutionary politics that must be pursued by all the progressive forces in South Africa.
Wow. To the progressive forces in South Africa, bring meaning to it. Yeah, sorry, I'm not buying that, Floyd. You are my Ooh, Floyd Shivambu. Wait for it, folks. Wait for it. Floyd Shivambu, my revolutionary and progressive leader. Oh, Floyd Shivambu, you are my brown-eyed girl. Do-do-do-do, my brown-eyed girl. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable the garbage coming out of that man's mouth. Breaking news out of South Africa where MK Party number 2, Floyd Shivambu, has resigned. Well, he's not MK Party. EFF Party member number 2, Floyd Shivambu, a founder of the party, along with Julius Malema, has left the Economic Freedom Fighters, announcing that this is a revolutionary act to not renew his membership. Let me put that in perspective for you very quickly, folks. Floyd Shivambu equates his lapsing of his membership in a political party, which is akin to letting your DSTV subscription lapse. I didn't renew my DSTV subscription. I did not renew my subscription to Genoot. I did not renew my subscription to News 24. And Floyd Shivambu has taken a revolutionary act of... Oh yeah, Carl Nyhorst will soon be leaving the EFF too, no doubt. He's much more comfortable with Jacob Zuma and where he likes to hang out. I'm surprised he never joined them in the first place. Yes, what a revolutionary act to let your membership lapse. I'm taking this revolutionary act so that progressive forces can unite for economic emancipation. All right, folks, let's go to the news stories. We'll start with the Times Live story and move on from there. News 24 and also IOL, all of which are reporting this morning that Floyd Shivambu has left the Economic Freedom Fighters. He wishes the EFF pure success and prosperity, saying the struggle for economic freedom must never be compromised by an individual decision or a criminal. His resignation comes months after the party was destroyed in the elections. He announced his formal departure at the party's headquarters after a call at midnight for an urgent briefing stunned even party provincial leaders. He cited his political development as the reason behind his exit, dispelling rumors that his departure is due to political infighting. No, he was about to be sacked. Floyd Shivambu had become too much of an embarrassment for Julius Malema, and he was about to be sacked. So he's gone. He's gone. I've never in my service of the organization acted against the organization's principles. Yes. I've never compromised my commitment to emancipation. Bullshit. The organization should not mischaracterize my revolutionary decision to not renew my membership. My revolutionary decision. I request that I be relieved of all my deployment in the spheres of organization. Political decisions should never be received as betrayal. And then he drops the other shoe. I've decided to join the ranks of the Umkhonto we Sizwe party and will be actively involved in shaping the politics of the country. But then he says there's no specific position that I've been assigned. There's no promise of a deployment. I do not have a seat in parliament. So how are you going to shape the politics of the country if you're not doing that? One of my viewers just a few moments ago said that he is lining himself up to succeed Jacob Zuma when he passes. Remember, the Zuma is in his 80s, an octogenarian, and in all likelihood probably has HIV for all we know. We don't know if he does or doesn't because he said he wore a condom. No, he didn't wear a condom. He took a shower. That's what he did. Anyway, Jacob Zuma will eventually leave this earth. And Shivambu, is he looking to line himself up for leadership in that party? Who knows? Who knows? Icona says, on a serious note, will it be better for the common sense parties that this is happening or not? No, this is the implosion of the Economic Freedom Fighters, which I predicted a long time ago. I predicted they would never reach 15% nationally, and I said this party would fade away as soon as Julius Malema was gone because it's a party of personality. It's a vanity project, much like COPE and much like MK. They're not real political parties. They don't accomplish anything. Show me one municipality where the EFF has led or made a difference. You can't. Show me one province they've won and led. You can't. Show me one bill that they've proposed that's been passed that's improved the lives of South Africans. You can't. They have grifted off of the taxpayer for a decade, and the jig is up. The big money supporters realized that. They went with MK and backed MK instead of backing EFF, and its structures collapsed in KwaZulu-Natal. It is a nothing party in that province and on its way to becoming a nothing party virtually everywhere except on university campuses where morons attend university. Isn't that ironic that dumbest people in society get to go to university? Yes, no loyalty among thieves. Not a vote of no confidence, he says. The News 24 reports that Shivambu dumps EFF for the MK party. Yep, press briefing. He added, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards of the EFF in Johannesburg region. Also request to resign my position as a member of Parliament and all positions I hold in the EFF. So, that statement may be true. Ward 44 may be one of the best performing EFF wards in the Johannesburg region, but EFF wards do not perform well, do they? If you live in Ward 44, please share your comments about service delivery and the quality of life in Ward 44 of Johannesburg. Let's take a look on the map, see if we can't pull that up. Ward 44, Johannesburg. Okay, let's take a look. City of Johannesburg was a map. Okay. Oh, it's Ekurhuleni. Okay. 51,000 people in it. 19,000 registered voters. ANC got 71%. EFF got 15%. Well, that's municipal. That's this ward. So let me zoom out here and see where it's at. It's on the west side. Northern part of, it's between Soweto and Rhodoport. Okay, that's where it's at. That's where it's at. So if we look at it on a map, this is where it's at. So Joburg is that big circle over here. You can see that's Joburg. Sandton up here. Randburg over there. It's not Ekurhuleni. There's his ward right there. Between Soweto and Rhodoport. Right there. Right there. Yeah. All right. So Floyd Shivambu, the gangster, is left the EFF and joined the MK party. I will only do so after receiving go-ahead from organization because it's EFF deployed me to Parliament. Yeah, he requests to resign his position as a member of Parliament and all positions he holds. EFF President Malema accepted Shivambu's resignation, but added the door would always be open if he wished to return. When he sent me the letter yesterday, I felt the pain, the same pain I felt when I heard about my mother's passing. I told him that resigning from the EFF is like resigning from himself because he's a co-founder. Malema added that he expected more fighters who were loyal to Shivambu to follow him to join the MK party. Fighters. What fight have they ever been involved in? None of them have ever served in combat. None of them ever served in uniform. Fighters? EFF fighters? These are disgruntled, bum-hurt ANC Youth League members, overwhelmingly, who left the party to go along with Julius Malema when he was kicked out of the ANC. Shivambu. He felt the pain of his departure like when his mother passed. Really? You're going to denigrate the memory of your mother by saying this nonsense? Floyd Shivambu? He's an idiot. Malema added that he expected more fighters, as I said to leave. He said, this is not a collapse of the EFF. This is a testing moment. A 10-year moment has never gone through this. 10-year-old movement's never gone through this. The EFF will have to pass the testing moment or die. So Julius Malema is trying to put lipstick on a pig, claiming that this is not a dying moment for the EFF. In fact, it is. The EFF is toast. They are done. They are gone. Done and dusted. Now, in 3 years, you might come back and say, Chris, you said the EFF was gone. Well, yeah, but the EFF plays a very useful role for certain wealthy South Africans, black and white, and they may not want it to disappear from the political scene, especially given the advanced age of Jacob Zuma. So while it should be finished, and I'm saying it is finished, I cannot predict unforeseen, huge, behind-the-scene, white monopoly capital interest that will keep the EFF and its nonsense going. There's a very good chance that that will continue. But they are done. They are done. So did he move from class struggle to race struggle, class communism to race national socialism, Marx to Hitler? Yeah. Angus Roy McBean says, when I heard the news initially, I surmised he turned state witness. I probably think he has turned state witness. Yep. We might see Juju wearing a different jumpsuit soon. We'll see. Breaking news, according to the Independent Online, Shivambu quits EFF to join Jacob Zuma's MK party. Oh, there's my favorite, constantly race-hustling journalist right there, Kamohlo Moishelela. This guy always runs stories about race. This one's not about race. Interesting. Floyd Shivambu dropped a bombshell today and confirmed that he's resigned from the EFF and joining President Jacob Zuma's MK party. Shivambu, flanked by Julius Malema and other party leaders, read out his resignation letter and confirmed that he would be joining MK party. Wow. Malema got the letter Wednesday, and press briefing took place today. My non-renewal. They got non-renewal. Boy, I tell you what, the IOL needs better editors here. It says the non-renewal. It's the non-renewal of the EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence in the organization, but a revolutionary act that will allow progressive forces to unite and work towards the agenda. A revolutionary act. Oh my goodness, a revolutionary act. Never trust a commie. Yep. Hope Franz Cronier does a poll in mid-September to compare the election results. A poll on what? My goodness. My goodness. Unbelievable. Maybe I can consult the EFF and MK how to properly conduct its military hunt operations in KwaZulu-Natal. They don't know how to do it. They'll be singing My Little Brown Eye. Little brown eyes, they squeeze Floyd's cheeks. Says Bonray. Possibly. Angus says, greetings, all uplifting to see our red shirts cavorting around the countryside to no avail. Please don't stop destroying each other. Agreed, 100%. Yep, 100%. Yep. Battle of the Juntas, MK versus EFF. Let's get ready to rumble. EFF versus the MK party. Wow. Yeah, well, the VBS scandal is coming to a boil. It's come back on the table. So I don't know if they'll ever be prosecuted. We'll see. But there you have it, folks. Malema announces changes to the EFF leadership. Yep, EFF leader Julius Malema is briefing the media today. Said it comes after reports that Shivambu is resigning, and they met together. At midnight, the EFF scheduled an urgent media briefing for Thursday morning. The alert raised the attendance of party provincial leaders who claimed to be unaware of the developments. Shivambu is said to have communicated his intention to leave the party to Malema, with meetings between the two and other top members taking place most of Wednesday. Wow. There you go, folks. Wow. There you have it. Is it a shocker? Not so much. It's surprising a little bit. Is it shocking he's going to MK party? No. The MK party is a party full of reprobates, convicted criminals, accused criminals, thieves, accused thieves, disgraced politicians. That's where those people go, is the MK party. Yep. Jane van Rienen says, run, Floyd, run. Van Rienen's pass. Yeah. Sure, I wonder what the raise looks like. Yeah, well, he says he's been promised no position, no parliamentary seat, no structures, no nothing, but he's going to continue the revolutionary emancipation. Really. I mean, listen to this garbage again. We're going to play it again for those who are just tuning in late here. So let me get to this point here. Hang on a second. Is that it?
We has created.
Okay, let me jump ahead here a little bit.
The letters.
Okay, here we go. This is Shivambu announcing at a press conference with Julius Malema present that he's leaving the party.
The chairperson of Ward 44, Johannesburg, has informed me that my membership of the EFF has lapsed. And I said, please be informed that I will not renew my membership of the EFF in Ward 44, which is one of the best performing wards in Johannesburg region.
Really?
I also request to resign my position as Member of Parliament and all positions in the EFF. I will only do so after receiving a go-ahead from the organization because it is the EFF that deployed me to Parliament. I cherish and appreciate the work that we collectively did in the EFF and building a formidable organization. I believe the aspirations and vision contained in the organizational resignation.
Let's pause here for just a moment as we discuss this Floyd Shivambu resignation, and let's reflect on what I've talked about previously and what Charles Van Onselen just sort of alluded to in the chat. Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob Zuma is getting even. Jacob Zuma is exacting his revenge on Julius Malema, and Julius Malema is too stupid to even see it. The EFF devoted all their time in the election campaign to campaigning on college campuses, university campuses, thinking that that would drive them north towards 15% or even make them the second largest party in the country based on fake polls, which indicated that they were more popular than other parties. The EFF put their focus there. Meanwhile, Jacob Zuma's MK party ate into his support everywhere, except on university campuses where it didn't matter. MK party is a nearly 15% party, a threshold that the EFF never achieved. In just 5 months, The MK party with no structures, no budget, no manifesto, no agenda, nothing whatsoever, surpassed the greatest heights the EFF ever achieved in just 5 months. And not only that, they completely destroyed the EFF in KwaZulu-Natal. Jacob Zuma's revenge. Montezuma's revenge you've heard of? This is Jay-Z's revenge. Julius Malema will be a nothing, nobody loser very soon. And this is all due to one man and his desire to exact revenge. Remember that Julius Malema is the asswipe who was in the African National Congress Youth League and initially was a huge supporter of Jacob Zuma until Zuma was vulnerable because of state capture. And then, of course, Malema made excuses and started attacking him as the leader, the president of the Youth League. He attacked the president and the leader of the party. Remember this? I've not forgotten it. And he was expelled from the ANC and founded in the EFF. Well, Jacob Zuma was severely wounded by that, and it hurt the ANC and started pulling it down to the 50% threshold, the departure of the rabble-rousers and the whiny little biatches in the EFF. That was a blow to the ANC. Jacob Zuma has never forgotten that. Jacob Zuma is exacting his revenge. And it won't end here, ladies and gentlemen. The ANC is his target. The ANC is the party that he is eviscerating as we speak. While they're actively turning members of municipal councils out, no, not like prison punks, but turning them out and turning them into ANC stalwarts. No longer. Now they're becoming MK members. Now, this is not going smoothly for Jacob Zuma. He's had a few ANC councillors and even IFP councillors resign in KZN, and a by-election has been forced as a consequence, and they've not won all of them, which they thought they would. So, we'll see how that goes. But Jacob Zuma's revenge is now in full-on battle mode as the EFF implodes around you. Now, Malema tried to soften the blow by saying some of the fighters, what do these people fought? What have they fought? Against grannies and tannies at a clicks? Is that what they fought? Throwing a petrol bomb into a clicks location, does that make you a fighter? Now, that makes you a terrorist, EFF, not a fighter, a domestic terrorist. But the fighters, some fighters will leave with Floyd Shivambu because they're loyal to him. Well, all things being equal, that could be a lot of fighters. A lot of fighters. This could be the division, the schism that breaks apart the EFF even more. Let's stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, for more members of the EFF departing for MK. Think about that, folks. Think about that. MK has 58 seats in Parliament. The EFF has 39. If they lose half of those seats, right, 59, give them another 20, that's 79. They are now nearly the second largest party in Parliament. Oh, think about it, folks. Think about it. Think about it. It's even better if Floyd and Malema are getting prosecuted. It's no longer an EFF and ANC scandal. It's also an MK scandal because he's now exactly. But I mean, the MK doesn't care about scandal. All their leaders are accused or convicted or suspected of all kinds of things. So it really doesn't matter to them. Does that work done include the VBS theft? Yeah, exactly, Jane. So much dirt in Shivambu that he'll make the MK party stink more. Yeah, who wrote that speech, Helen? It's a good question. It's comical. Yep. Zuma always plays the role of ignorant old man who's the jovial go-go. He was in charge of ANC intelligence for a reason. Exactly. And that's what I've told people. That's why he survived the no confidence votes. That's why he stayed president as long as he did. Because he knows where the bodies are buried. So if he was an MP, got to wonder who will fill that seat. Another rotten egg. Exactly. Yeah, terrible MK growing in numbers. Yep. Just go to show standing for something is far more important than rising against it. Let's hear a little bit more from Floyd Shivambu's resignation speech at the press conference earlier.
The redesigned document of the EFF can still be achieved. That the divisions that are contained in the organizational redesigned document of the EFF can still be achieved, and that I believe so. That my non-renewal of EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence in the organization.
Oh, that's exactly what it is. My non-renewal of my membership in the EFF, just like I allowed my DSTV subscription to lapse, it's not a vote of no confidence in the service and the overpriced packages that DSTV provides. It's simply I'm moving on to something else. There is no other satellite provider, so I guess I'll be watching DVDs. My non-renewal of my EFF membership is not a vote of no confidence against the organization. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. So considering what you just said, this sort of silent coup d'etat, well, it depends how you look at it. It's not taking the head of a state off, but it's certainly a body blow for the EFF, ladies and gentlemen. This is a terminal wound, most likely, for the economic freedom fighters. Now, look, it's not simply a case of a senior member of the EFF resigning. This is a co-founder. This is a man who is deeply embedded, deeply ingrained with all that is corrupt, all that is wrong, and all that is race hustling, and all the violence that is the EFF. This is the man right there. Right there. Floyd Shivambu. That's the guy. Right there. Just above my head. You got to see him. Boop, can't find. There he is. Boop, boop. He is part and parcel of that. His departure as a co-founder of this rabble-rousing, pajama, prison suit wearing clowns in Parliament. I want to say clowns in Congress, but it's Parliament. Clowns in Parliament. CIP. That's what they are. Clowns in Parliament. Not the EFF. They're the CIP. His departure and Malema's admission that any other fighters are likely to leave with him is likely to see a major schism within the economic freedom fighters. A party that achieved 44 seats in Parliament at its apex, now down to 39, now at 38. Now they still in the seat. But what happens? People changing parties? But you can't do that. You can't do that. There's no floor crossing period now, so they can't change parties. So what will happen? What will happen? Will EFF members retain their EFF membership but clandestinely work for the MK party in Parliament? That's a possibility too. Does this open the floodgates? Yes, it does. This is a case of rats fleeing a sinking ship. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. The EFF problem is terminal. Yes, it is, Alan. Orange jumpsuits all around. Jay-Z will let them carry on. Yep. I don't even mean what's happening right now. I mean, Jacob Zuma wants to capture the ANC and the EFF. Oh no, I just said that. I just said that's what's going on here. This is Jacob Zuma's revenge, and it's the destruction of EFF. At the same time, this is not exactly a state secret. We know this. The MK party has been approaching councillors in municipalities throughout KZN, where they're doing it on a trial basis. Now they're trying to do it elsewhere in Eastern Cape, and they're looking at doing Northern Cape, but they don't have any stronghold there. Their stronghold is in KZN, so that's where they focus. They go to a ward councillor who's ANC or IFP in some cases, mostly ANC, and they say, listen, we want you in our structures. Support President Zuma. He's the real leader of this country. Resign your position. Quit as a municipal councillor. That will force a by-election, and we will put you forward as a candidate for MK, and we guarantee you'll win. That's what they're actively doing. And you can do that. You can force a by-election. There's no by-election for Parliament. It doesn't work that way. The parties get to appoint somebody else. But you can do that at municipal level. And quietly, silently, between now and 2026, the chessboard will be realigned and rearranged if it goes well, if MK is successful, and you will find that MK will have a massive number of municipal councillors when they had 0 prior to this year. Watch this. Watch this. That is, unless, of course, MK implodes too. It is a vanity project of Jacob Zuma. If he suddenly passes away or something happens to him, the party could evaporate. Yep. So, orange is the new black. No, the school won't be built, Garrett. The school will never be built. That's what I said, Sean. There is no floor crossing. There is no floor crossing. That idiotic parliamentary method disappeared. It lapsed. It's gone. You can't do floor crossing, so the EFF will appoint someone else to fill his seat. Right, but somebody in MK is going to be pulled out and be replaced at some point by Floyd Shivambu, most likely. I mean, you think he's going to go without a salary? Who knows what money he's getting under the table from MK, but no. Yeah, there is no floor crossing. That's correct. That was the most undemocratic process ever invented, defrauding voters of their representation in Parliament. I mean, the people who proposed that should be horsewhipped and prosecuted for stealing democracy. Yep, no school from the EFF. That is correct, Robert. No school from the EFF. Ladies and gentlemen, this hour, Floyd Shivambu has resigned from the Economic Freedom Fighters and joined the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Surprise? Maybe a little bit, the timing of it. But ultimately, this is what I've predicted, the demise of the Economic Freedom Fighters. Julius Malema tried to put lipstick on a pig, and it's not going to work. And Shivambu, whoever wrote that speech for him, it's comical. It's written by probably some white leftist Tani who, is steeped in Marxist ideology because her parents were anti-apartheiders and she fled to Berlin or Moscow during the struggle against apartheid, and she's steeped in Marxist doctrine. Can you believe this? So once again, the most ironic part about all this is that Floyd Shivambu is leaving the EFF, a party he said in his closing comments is committed to the revolutionary Marxist-Leninist struggle and economic emancipation. I mean, Karl Marx could have written that. Maybe they lifted it. It might be like Joe Biden. Maybe they plagiarized Karl Marx. I don't remember if that was a statement in Das Kapital, but it's similar to that. So he's talking about that. That is a European concept. Marxist-Leninist ideology comes from Europe, not from Africa, not from Asia, not from the Americas. It comes from Europe, from privileged, whiny Europeans like Karl Marx and then Vladimir Lenin, a German and a Russian. How ironic is that? He is saying that that's the ideology for Africans. How does Marxist-Leninist ideology comport with the MK party's stated position of doing away with Roman Dutch law, doing away with land tenure, and having chiefs control everything, and all of you being serfs for them, living in subsistence farming? How do the two of them comport? Marxist-Leninist ideology from a bunch of privileged white guys and African ideology. They do not mix, which tells you one very clear thing. Neither party believes in anything they actually say. It's all bullshit for the masses. Bullshit for the masses. That's what it is. Clear bullshit. I didn't know that Ward 44 had a big cemetery. Funzal Kogenberg says, I couldn't understand the speech. I don't speak EFF. Well, you don't have to speak EFF. He was speaking Marxist-Leninist ideology there. That's what he's speaking. If you speak Marxist-Leninist ideology, you're okay. The stupid blonde chick from EFF. Yeah. Well, what about Jack Markowitz? Carl Niehorst. Yep. Somebody corrected me when I called him Carl Niehorst. They said his name is Niehaus. I'm like, no, it's Niehorst. We renamed him. It's Carl Niehorst. Oh my goodness. MK just invited the fleas to their belt, says Garrett. Ooh, that's rough. What will happen, Dr. Waterboy and Delosi? I don't know what's going on there. Will this play a role in the new election of Mayor Joburg? No. He's a member of parliament. He's not a ward councillor. He talked about being in the ward, but he can't be at both. Oh, the Rudaport Cemetery. Floyd got spooked. Yeah, folks, I don't know what to say about that. Peter says, how do you reckon this will affect the situation in Joburg with the mayor recently resigned? Do you think Lusufi and Malema will still go to work together, or will Action SA get speaker? That's a good question. I don't know that Action SA is going to get a position. They've been very vocal and not in the favor of the ANC, and the ANC holds the upper hand there. The DA has been very silent. That's the part that's a little puzzling. I think it's smart of them to stay out of the fray. Joburg is a tar baby. It's a problem that will stick to you and you can't get rid of it. No one will be able to fix this as long as gangsters are not prosecuted by the justice system and police don't get control of the city. It is a massive. I mean, even if it was an honest administration, even if there were no corrupt distractions in Johannesburg, it is a city that is very difficult to govern. Very difficult to govern. It only survives because the little portions of it kind of act like it's independent fiefdoms in many respects, and people are getting their services from private vendors rather than the city because the city can't deliver. That's the only reason the city exists. Otherwise, it would just devolve into total chaos and the law of the jungle. An honest administration would find it difficult to restore Johannesburg to the luster of the city of gold, Igoli, that it once was. That's going to be a challenge for anyone. The DA is probably smart to stay out of it, but I'm surprised with the number of councillors they have that they haven't said anything. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. They're saying this will bring a merge between MK and EFF. I don't think so. If there is a merger between EFF and MK, it will only occur if Julius Malema is not part of it. Jacob Zuma, despite his pretending to be friends with Malema, I find that very difficult to believe. Very difficult to believe. So I don't think there'll be a merger here. Maybe not that MK is looking for talent as much as immorality, but what has Floyd ever achieved? Nothing. Nothing. That's the point. The man has achieved nothing in his entire life. Absolutely nothing. Zanu Labaskakni says they're saying this will bring a merger. What's your thoughts? No, not going to happen. Folks, do not disregard or discount how angry Jacob Zuma is and how long his memory. He's like an elephant. There's a reason this guy was head of intelligence from Konto Isizwe. There's a reason that he was never taken out. Heads of intelligence in African liberation movements tend to be assassinated or disappeared or in traffic accidents throughout the history of liberation movements and even their political parties after the fact. They don't survive very long. But here's Jacob Zuma in his 80s, still around, spent 2 terms as president, nearly completed the 2nd term, and he's still there. Convicted of contempt of court, spends 5 minutes in a prison and escort, and he's out because his life was in terminal health. That was what, 2-3 years ago now? Yeah, 2021, 3 years ago. Thought Malema and Zuma made up after their Tea Party. That's all window dressing, Peter. Don't buy that for even a second. Don't buy that for a second. It's just like this dispute between Helen Zille and Floyd Shivambu. Do you think that's real? Does anybody think that Floyd Shivambu and Helen Zille dispute is real? It's not. Look at Election Day when the results came in. Look at Helen Zille and Floyd Shivambu sitting around, drinking tea, laughing their asses off, patting each other in the back, smiling, shaking hands, making deals. The DAs, Floyd Shivambu and Helen Zille, are not blood enemies. They are birds of a feather who are flocking together. This is all show for the masses. All show for the masses. Nonsense. It's distracting from what's really going on. So ask yourself this question. While Floyd Shivambu and Helen Zille are out here making little arguments between each other about who's in charge and she's interfering with ministers and all this nonsense, and that's what's in the news, what's going on in the back room? What are the ANC members of parliament up to? What are they doing? Are they behaving themselves? Don't hold your breath on that one, folks. Don't hold your breath on that one. That's all bullshit. If you think the Tea Party between Jacob Zuma and Julius Malema was a reconciliation, it wasn't. It wasn't. The knife will come out and it will be plunged in Malema's back at some point. Malema is like a cat with 9 lives. At this stage, he's burned through 5 or 6 of them, and he's in trouble. The EFF is done and dusted, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for more defections from the economic freedom fighters who follow to either the MK party or simply leave the party. But it won't be members of parliament because they are too greedy and won't give up their seats unless they're going to get money paid under the table. Floyd Shivambu was born in Limpopo, so he's probably PD or Shona, hence him and Julius being bros. He's not Zulu. But what's that got to do with it? What's that got to do with it? Still remember like 20 years ago with Floyd and the ANC Youth League, he got interviewing saying Helen Zille is sleeping around, and he kept repeating sleeping around means sleeping around. Well, that's because, remember, there was a period of time in which the EFF, or the ANC, there was no EFF, the ANC, members of parliament and local structures were constantly running around on radio and the press calling Helen Zille a whore. Remember that? Remember when she was the Western Cape Premier and she picked an all-male cabinet? They called her a whore. That's what they said. The vile, disgusting behavior of ANC members who weren't sanctioned for their misogyny never happened. Of course, this is a part of the ANC that believes in stopping gender-based violence, except that they perpetuate it and encourage it with this misogyny. Anyway, folks, everyone's bailing ship. The rats are fleeing the the EFF to join MK. We'll see where the rest of them go. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in. I have, unfortunately, expired here. As Van Morrison says, my brown-eyed girl, that's who Floyd Shivambu is, my brown-eyed girl. And I, unfortunately, have to depart and get to work. So sorry about that. I'll try to do a noontime thing. Maybe we'll take a deeper dive into this and talk about it. But I've got work to do. I'm out of here. Be safe. Thanks for tuning in. Share this stream with other people. Let them know about this analysis. You heard it here first. You heard it here first of how this is going to be a death knell to the EFF and what is really going on. It is Jacob Zuma's revenge against Julius Malema. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Take care, folks. We'll catch you later today if things go well. Appreciate your support and your viewership of the channel. Hit the like button. Only 70 likes, 113 people. That is so disappointing. Come on, people. Make it happen. Make it happen. Get me to 100 likes. Really do appreciate that. Cheers, and we'll catch you later. Bye-bye. Hey, Floyd. Revolutionary Act. I have not renewed my EFF membership. This revolutionary act will advance the forces of progressivism. Yeah, right. Marxist-Leninist ideology teaming up with the agrarian African no Roman Dutch law party of the MK. Bullshit.